Hello and welcome to today's codebook tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about reporting. To create a report in Codebook, select the Home tab and then select Reports. Codebook will now load up the Report Wizard creation tool. We can see there are a number of different types of reports. We've organised these into groups such as Areas, Equipment, FF&E, Schedule, RPG, Room Data, Revisions and Exports. Two of the most common types of report you're going to be asked to run is a room data report and a room data and equipment report. To run a room data report, select the option for room data. Now we can see we have two variants of this style of report. We have a doc, which is a Word report, and we have an XLS report, which is an Excel report. In this instance, we want to run a room data doc report. On the right hand side, we have a list of rooms we wish to create this report for. We can remove all, include all. If we include all, we can then remove linked rooms, unlinked rooms, place rooms. So if I wanted to remove all of my unlinked rooms, we can see that number now jumps down to 67. I can add individual departments, floors, rooms, or room instances. Or I can go to my Project Explorer and just drag and drop the rooms that I'm interested in. It's also possible to save a room list. We may have a room list that we want to recall for later on, so we can go to Build List and Save Build List. When we want to recall that list, we can go to Recall Build List, and it will ask us where the save list is. We can also customize this report to a degree. So if I select my room data, I can then select Report Settings. Then you can see that we can edit the title information. We've also labelled these for E's, so we can see that label E is E. We can see that caption P is P. So we can see which field we're editing and where it's going to impact on our template. We can change the header information. We can associate a graphic with it. We can edit the footer information. We can add a cover sheet. We can also set the titles of these fields, and as well as a font size and how we wish to create the Excel or Word document, whether we wish to collate it or have it as one single file. If we go down to room data now, we can actually control what's going to be output in this report. So we can see that we've got room information, design issues, and environmental. We can also include finishes and briefing. Now we can see we've got the sub options for room information, room type, design issues, finishes, briefing, and environmental. So we know that we're including finishes, but it may be that we don't actually need to see tiling or skirting in this particular instance. So we can either include those or remove those from the report. We can also define the sort order in this report. Once we're happy with these settings, we can click File and Save Settings, and then we can recall these at a later date if changes have been made. Once we're happy with our settings, and we have a room included to which we want to generate this report for, we can select Create Report. Now the Word reports will take slightly longer to generate than the Excel reports. So if you're after pure data to make edits or modifications, or perhaps just to check changes, generate the report in XLS. If you generate a report perhaps for issue to a client, or for markups, the doc report is a much more concise, easy to view report. We can see now the Word report is completed. We can show our design criteria, our finishes, and our equipping information. We can see our header and our footer. If we had included a graphic, it would be visible. And that's a standard room data report. If we now wanted to run perhaps an equipment report, we would scroll up to the equipment report, and we could do components by room. And again, if we check the report settings, we have a number of options, and these are going to be very similar to the last report settings, such as title, header, footer. What we can also do, however, in this report, because we're dealing with FF&E and equipment, we can define whether we're going to be including the required equipment list or the design equipment list, how we want unions to report, how we want omitted items to report, do we need to see group or fixed height or extended description, and we can also filter this report. So if we only wanted to see certain types of groups or certain types of classifications of items, we can go say filter on classification and filter out the items we don't want to see. I want to filter on group and I want to see all of these items of equipment. So I'm going to leave these as is. I'm going to click close and then I'm going to click at the bottom right, create report. We can see how that report's now been created. Again, we can see our header, our project information, as well as our equipment now. We can see that it's a group 1 item of equipment, class 63, and it's a contractor installation. We can see the quantity, the code, and the description, and we can also see the fixed height for this particular item of equipment. Now to see that report in a slightly different way, we can do a components by room XLS. So I'm going to leave that and click create report. As you can see, these reports are much quicker to create. So I'm just going to drag that across now onto the screen. And we can see now we don't actually have the choice between designed and required. This report outputs everything and then color codes the report based on the requirements. So we can see our floor, our departments, our room number, our room name, the equipment code, the label, and the description. We can also see the quantities. As you can see, there are a number of other style reports that can be produced. If you have any questions or queries as to which type of report you need to output a certain type of data, feel free to contact the support email address. That concludes the tutorial on creating reports. If you have any questions, please contact support@codebiginternational.com. Thank you.